Hello wrestling fans, the Wrestling Wizard here and welcome to another video. So it certainly feels like Randy Orton's WWE return is just around the corner. Of course, recently he was spotted at the WWE Performance Center, and of course tails have been wagging left, right and center, and we hope, we pray as fans of Randy Orton that he will be back, mainly because he would have overcame a serious, potentially career-threatening back injury. And it's always good to see a superstar come back, sort of defy the odds and get back in the ring when maybe at certain times the doctors, even themselves, didn't think it was possible. Also, I love it when superstars can end their career on their terms. So I'm praying that 43-year-old Randy Orton will be back in WWE. But I'm also loving the fact that the dirt sheets don't have a clue when he's coming back, and it certainly feels like since the merger there's less leaks, which I really like. I don't want spoilers. I don't want to know that a superstar is coming back when they're coming back the day. I want to be surprised, and I feel that the fitting way to bring back Randy Orton would be much like Bray Wyatt last year. Close out a PLE with the Randy Orton return. That would be epic. He doesn't need to immediately enter a feud. Just have the fans lap up and enjoy his return, where you get the eyeballs popping out of the socket sort of moment. That would be epic. Just imagine the show seems like it's closed, whatever show it may be, and then I hear voices in my head. But that aside, in this video, we're going to have some fun. We're going to look at potential feuds that Randy Orton could work as a babyface and then later on as a heel. Because I'm pretty convinced that WWE are going to return Randy Orton as a babyface, purely because he's going to get literally the Legends pop when he returns. But before we get into the juicy stuff, it'd be very much appreciated if you could like the video, share the video, and even better, subscribe if you're new. Man, I want to see Randy Orton back. Literally one of my favourite superstars of all time. And do you know who I would love to see him come back and feud with? Gunther, the ring general. He has done it all with that IC title. He has surpassed the Honky Tonk Man's record. He's literally ready to enter the World Heavyweight title scene. And what better way to get him ready for that than feud with a living legend in the veteran Randy Orton. Those matchups would be fire. Win or lose, it doesn't really matter. Gunther's going to come out looking like $1 million, even more so. And I just think the feud alone would be mouthwatering. Another feud that would be pretty tasty would be against the prize fighter in Kevin Owens. Now, of course, Owens would probably need to turn heel for this, especially if Randy Orton's going to return as a babyface. But this feud alone would be safe. It would be epic. You could have a 3-month-long feud between the two of them. And honestly, in the ring, it would just be a must watch. I just think it makes a lot of sense if you're coming back to WWE to work with someone very safe like Kevin Owens, a veteran like Kevin Owens, and it just makes a lot of sense overall. And it's a great way of giving Kevin Owens a really epic storyline, a really epic feud with a returning Randy Orton. Because it's safe to say, since losing the Undisputed Tag Team titles, Kevin Owens hasn't exactly been booked the best. Another safe feud, if you like, would be Randy Orton versus Sheamus. Again, turn Sheamus heel or vice versa. And that would be a feud I would like to see. A hard-hitting feud. If reports are true in regards to Sheamus, I don't believe that Sheamus has that long left on his WWE contract. So if he's going to work out the remaining months on his contract, then why not have a feud with the legend killer in Randy Orton? Now, of course, Randy Orton has done it all. And you could argue returning is his time to give back. His time to invest in superstars of the future. And I certainly feel there's a young superstar. Just imagine Austin Theory cutting this very heelish, brash, cocky, arrogant promo that he usually cuts. And then you hear voices. Orton versus Austin Theory. Of course, you can have interactions between Orton and Grayson Waller as well. Maybe tag Orton up with someone else as well and maybe integrate some tag team in there. But I certainly feel Austin Theory could get elevated to the next level with a feud with Randy Orton. I mean, Theory has taken on Edge. He's taken on John Cena. Like, he's taken on some greats along the way. So why not add Randy Orton to the list? Now this next pick is just purely out of main event spots, viral moments in Montez Ford versus Randy Orton. And mainly just because I'm getting this vision of Montez Ford doing some crazy stunt off the top rope and then Randy Orton countering that into an RKO off the top rope. Create that viral moment. Just add another RKO to the list. I'm hoping he still keeps that maneuver, by the way, though, because of course he has had back fusion surgery. So it's no joke that. So maybe, just maybe, they have to be a bit careful how much they utilize the RKO as he lands on his back every time he does that. But hey, I'm just trying to be positive. If he keeps that move, I want to see that moment. Of course, if Randy Orton is kept safe. Now, we've got to remember the last time we saw Randy Orton, he lost the tag team titles to the Usos, and it was all because of Roman Reigns, the head of the table, the tribal chief. But instead of going for a Randy Orton-Roman Reigns feud immediately, why not elevate Solo Sikoa? Why not have Solo Sikoa versus Randy Orton in a 2 to 3 month long feud? Of course, involve the bloodline, and then of course, maybe, just maybe, you can have Randy Orton take on Roman Reigns. Allegedly, that was the plans post Randy Orton losing the tag team titles. Of course, the last time we saw him, that was the plans, that was in the works. And I'd love to see Randy Orton versus Roman Reigns. At this stage, Randy Orton doesn't need victories. Just for a few moments or so, you might feel that Randy Orton's got a chance. And yes, he has, because he's Randy Orton. And hey, Randy Orton dethroning Roman Reigns, just imagine it. It would be like literally the shock of the century, but no fan in this world would have a problem with it, right? I don't think it's going to happen, just purely the age Randy Orton's at, but never say never. I think an Orton-Reigns feud would be perfect to segue into my next point. Now, assuming Orton loses to Roman Reigns, of course, that then leaves Cody Rhodes time to finish his story. I've just got this vision of Cody Rhodes dethroning Roman Reigns, coming out the next night on Raw, and then boom, just like that, snaps, turns on Cody Rhodes. Now, those of you who don't know, Cody Rhodes, Ted DiBiase and Randy Orton were in a faction way back when, around 2009, named Legacy. And of course, Randy Orton was the leader. He was the mentor to Cody Rhodes. So there's a backstory there. It makes sense. And if you're going to snap Orton back to his, let's face it, best role in a heel Randy Orton, working heel versus Cody Rhodes, maybe champion at the time, doesn't need the belt, but would be pretty cool with the belts. Assuming Cody Rhodes finishes his story and beats Roman Reigns, you can have Randy Orton as the first heel challenger in that feud, and that would be pretty badass. Now, of course, you could have Orton as a heel working LA Knight, or Seth Rollins revisit that feud. And I always think all the way back to, what, WrestleMania 31? Yes, it was the same WrestleMania where Rollins cashed in at the end of the night. And of course, that epic RKO spot with Randy against Seth. Seth and Randy in a matchup is always fire. It's obviously going to be a safe working match as well. And throw an LA Knight in, why not? Because he's red hot at the moment. So utilise him the best you can. My only reservations would be LA Knight taking on Orton. Where would the crowd sit? I personally feel maybe, just maybe, they'd probably side with Orton. But if he slips right back into that despicable, villainous heel role that he plays so well, then inevitably, surely, fans would side with LA Knight. But it remains to be seen, the longevity in LA Knight and whether that feud really on paper would play out. But what do you think? Get down in the comments section, share your thoughts and opinions. What feuds would you like to see Randy Orton in upon WWE return? And as always, it'd be very much appreciated if you could like the video, share the video, and even better, subscribe if you're new, and we'll catch you in the next one.